Hey folks, Bill Carey here down here at Archie Cochrane Ford. We've got Kent Mendy, he's our product specialist here. We're going to talk about a Super Duty. Actually, it's mine. I just bought it. It's a 24 F-350 Super Duty. It's got the Power Stroke diesel, 475 horse, 1,025 foot-pounds of torque. I can tell you from coming out of a competitive vehicle, this thing is insane. So that's why I've got Kent here. We want to slow things down and give you a real description of what's all included when you buy a truck like this. Prices are high, so you want to know what the value is. This thing has a ton of value. Yep. Kent, why don't you start out, buddy?
The way that Billy ordered this is a sport appearance package. It's also a Lariat and the Lariat Ultimate package. So it is an upgraded packages compared to the standard truck. Part of that, like I said, is the sport appearance. You'll notice the front bumper is painted different. Magnetic painted 20-inch cast aluminum wheels to give it a nicer appearance on there. You'll get the standard running board. With the sport appearance, you get the blacked out vents along the side as well. You get the black mirror caps. You will also notice in the back the sport badging along the rear fender in the back end of there. That again is sport appearance package, but I also stated that it is the Lariat Ultimate. There's a lot more features on the Lariat Ultimate that you will get as well. You'll get a 360-degree view camera in there. There'll be heads-up display, and we'll go through that in just a minute. Even on a Lariat, you get heated and ventilated front seats. With the Lariat Ultimate, you'll get the power adjustable seats on both sides with the 6-way telescoping headrests. Anything, it's the interior features that you get over the standard vehicle. Bigger displays up front, but we can show you that when we jump in.
Some of the really cool things that I noticed right off is we got the big tow hooks up front. We got the nice air dam. All those things increase your fuel economy. I can tell you, I have a dump trailer I haul with this truck pretty consistently. I've only got 2,500 miles on it, but it's averaging about 16.5 miles to gallon. That's running around town hauling trailers and everything. So that, the economy side of it, is pretty phenomenal for a big diesel truck like this.
Like he was saying, with the Lariat Ultimate, you do get some forward collision assist things. He's got the adaptive cruise control on the Lariat. You'll notice your forward sensors, which will help with that as well, along the front bumpers.
Right there, there, and then right here, in the winter screen, you can see there's a camera here.
Yep.
Right, so this, when I'm pulling up to stuff, it tells me if I'm getting too close. Kind of a cool feature.
Some of the other features that you'll notice up here on the window, you'll notice that there's a triangular shape just below the Ford oval. That's a camera for your automatic emergency braking, your lane keeping features, and then there's functions that we can turn off and on so you can see how that will help you in correcting your driving if you happen to drift in and out of your lanes.
So these mirrors are very important. They not only fold in with power, they also slide out and back in. You've got your bliss, which I'll let Ken explain better. It's these little indicators on each mirror on each side. So if somebody's in my blind spot, you can see it, which is really nice. And then it's also got the blind spot mirror that you can adjust for your own personal preference. It's a really good thing too.
One thing that Billy was saying with the bliss on the heavy duties, you can actually turn the bliss for trailer towing. So the blind spot monitoring will extend 33 feet behind your truck, which if you're pulling a long trailer and you're trying to merge, it's going to tell you that there's a vehicle along the side of your trailer just to give you indicators so that you don't have an accident.
One of the other things I really like Ford did is it's all in one door, right? I mean, sometimes, I mean, I've seen some that you actually have to put the def in under the hood and stuff.
Yep.
That it's all contained here under one lid. It's nice. This step, I can tell you, after having a truck for 12 years that didn't have one, this thing's invaluable if you want to get some out of the back of the truck. It's right here. It's easy. Saves a lot of time.
Coming back here with the Lariat Ultimate, you do get the drop down tailgate. You do get the tailgate step in the back here as well, so you can easily climb in and or out of the back of the truck, climbing up in there. Bill has got the
hitch tip.
The fifth wheel hitch prep package. It's a 20,000 pound fifth wheel hitch prep package. He's also got the mounted connectors right there in the bed. It's for easy.
Right in here, this is for your different trailers.
Yep.
And the yaw control, if you do you choose to use that. There's your 7-pin. Now, if you look on the other side, something I ordered that is not standard, but something everybody should think about is a 2,000 watt inverter. I have a few rentals, so it works out nice. Like the other day, I went and thawed out some pipes. I just plugged my heater into that, stuck it under the mobile home, thawed out the pipes, no problem. Having that that's just a big safety. See the sensors back here for the back as well, and there's one right here. So like when you're in here, that's when you're pulling up to your trailer hitch. I can actually look right down onto this and back right up to the trailer, and it's great. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I had to get out of my truck 5 and 6 times to hook up to a trailer. Don't do that anymore. One time. It's awesome.
And as he's pointing that one for conventional, you've also got your camera mounted right there, which just makes it a lot easier for when you're connecting your trailers without having to get out of the vehicle or have to have a guide guiding you. But the funnest part about that is this truck is driving it. So if you want, let's jump in and go for a ride. So some of the things on a Lariat Ultimate that you'll get above the rest of them are, you'll get the tilt telescoping, you get the memory preset seats in here. With the Lariat Ultimate, he's got the adaptive cruise control, lane centering.
You got driver's assistance, which we can show you here on the inside. This is a Pro Power onboard that I was talking about in the back of the truck. When you click on this, it shows the truck. Like right now, we've got a 20 amp service that you can plug into right here, which is awesome. So if you got laptops or anything like that, you can charge right off of that.
Yep.
We also got 12 volts. So if you got something that runs off a cigarette lighter, like a battery charger or something like that, you can do that. And all you have to do to turn on the one in the back is you press the button and it goes through a deal. It tests it. And right now you can see as it's blue illuminated, it's on and working. So you can plug something into the back right now and have that service.
And it'll show you your draw across the screen, how much you're drawing for power out of that back outlet as well.
Which, I mean, just one of the many features that this has when you're into the feature section. You also got zone lighting, you got towing. The one thing here is under towing, and I'm learning as I go. I'm adding trailers as I go, right? Because each trailer is different. You can turn on sway control. You can turn on, I mean, there's just so many different things you can do with it. Maintenance reminders. Like right now, I have no trailers active, obviously, because there's not one plugged in. You can see right now I've got dumper. That's my dump trailer. When I plug it in, it shows up and it knows it's on there. It already presets the built-in brake gain and everything. So yep. I know the brakes work correctly for that trailer. And as I add trailers along with my campers and stuff, those will all be in there and they'll all be adjusted and preset as I set them. So awesome feature there.
Going with that, as you look through here, because it is a Lariat, you'll notice you get a different display up here on the Lariat, and there's several functions for vehicle information. You can program that to select certain things you like to view quickly, so you can jump to those real fast. That's why that My View is kind of a personalized setting area, and then you can go down to your different trip or fuel. And one of the neatest things that they've incorporated in here is in the Lariat Ultimate, they do have a heads-up display. I can't see it from my side. You want to explain some of that, Billy?
The heads-up display, obviously I got it turned on right now because we're sitting still. All you can see is the miles an hour. But as we get going, all the features start turning on, like the lane departure, right? You'll see lines on each side, which you'll see here in a little bit. It'll actually inform you, because here on the control, you said how close of distance you want with your cruise and things like that. They're like two gaps, gaps of 2, 3, whatever. And it'll actually, the lane departures, if you try merging into the left lane without the turn signal, it'll turn yellow and try to correct you back to the center. So, I mean, there's a lot of cool things that we'll get into as we go for a test drive that'll show all that. Adjustments, that's where you can set different things up, like brightness in this, vertical position, image rotation, which I haven't messed with a whole lot. The biggest thing I've found in this center stack to me that is the most important is when you start changing drive modes, right? Mm-hmm. So down here you've got, obviously you got your 4-wheel drive buttons around the circle, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kent, that button locks everything in. So
correct.
It's locked differentials front and back. But drive modes, as you can see up here as you're switching through each of these drive modes, like right now I'm in normal, but you can see the indications across the bottom here. Like right now, if I'm on normal and I want to go to my trailer, I click it to trailer and that puts it into tow haul mode. or economy. I can actually switch it over to economy, and that actually helps you push fuel economy and makes things perform a little better. But one of the things I've noticed here recently that I like the most, and it really surprised me, is slippery. When you put this truck in slippery mode, it's like putting it on rails, like it's a train car. This thing doesn't wiggle, it doesn't move. Even we just had that big bad snap of bad roads, and the truck is fabulous on bad roads.
And as you adjust your modes, your drive modes through those screen, it'll turn different features and functions off. If it's your traction control, if it's engaging it into the slippery mode from 2 high to 4 high, there's no real interaction that you have to do with going into 4-wheel drive. It'll adjust it accordingly to the terrain that you're getting into. The other thing, like he was showing through tow haul and economy, it will adjust your shift points of the transmission. If you go into the sport mode or into other modes, it'll give you a more aggressive throttle control. If you go into the tow haul modes, it adjusts the shift points. So if you're going up a hill or down a hill, it's going to keep you in your optimum gear, and you're not going to be shifting in and out of gears the way that a lot of the time it feels like a transmission's just not there. Mated with the 10-speed automatic, it's a fluidity of how well it shifts is pretty impressive. You do have a manual mode that you can select, and then you've got the selectable gears that you can control from here as if it was a manual transmission. So for the guys that really want that manual, you do have a setting that you can put it into M manual and then select your gears 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 10 if you wanted to.
And then one of the things I just did is I switched this into off-road mode. And one of the things you'll see right away is it changed the whole center stack of this truck, right? It's got me angles of inclination, whether you're talking tilt sideways or tilt up and down. It's got the angles for you set right there. It's got your elevation. It's got your direction of travel. And the best thing, if you look at the big screen, it's looking in front of you. Because I can't tell you, I mean, this is a big truck. So when you're looking over the front, there's a lot of distance between the front bumper and where you can actually see. This fills in that void, which is fantastic. So if there's a surprise rock that was going to blow your tire, you're going to see it here on the camera, even though you can't see it between your hood and the line of sight. And also you can see here on the drive mode, being in off-road, it's got the lock symbol right there on the rear differential, because you can see is by going into off-road mode, it locks in the rear differential all on its own. So that's a cool feature of the off-road.
And with that, like he was saying, it'll give you the direction of travel to the forward front wheels. Like he was saying, sometimes it's kind of hard looking over that hood, but it'll give you the direction of travel so you can point those tires or wheels to an object to avoid it, or just to be able to direct it to go over it accordingly.
Perfect example, the yellow line. I guarantee you right here where you're sitting, you do not see that yellow line, but you can see it in the camera, right?
Yes,
so that's
correct.
That's a great feature there that adds into it. Yeah, now we can talk about some of the buttons here across the top. Kent, I'll let you talk about those.
So this is the exhaust brake. As you notice, if you select this, it'll engage on here that is turning the engine brake on. This again is intended for heavier loads. That engine brake, it's going to use your transmission and your exhaust to give you compression to slow your vehicle down without having to ride your brakes as much. There's another setting, if you hit it again, it's automatic engine brake, and you can tell the difference in compression depending on if you're loaded or unloaded. But again, you'll want to select the one that's easiest or best for you, but it just makes it convenient that you've actually got 3 settings: off, on, and then the automatic. And makes it real easy just with that little button right from the dash to be able to use your exhaust brake easily. The other thing they've got up here as well, if you wanted to control this, you can go into your camera settings. Once you go to the camera settings, you'll get a straightforward view from here, and you'll also get a 360-degree view from here. As you notice right here, you can control what the view is. Say there's an object in the left front corner. You can watch that as you're pulling into the garage so you avoid any impacts with toolboxes or anything you might have located up at the front of that garage. You can also get different views. If you just want a straightforward view, you can have that. Here's a 180-degree view that will give you a view along the side of the front of the bumper, so you can see along. If you notice this Expedition in the previous view, you didn't see it here, but if you're trying to stick your nose out of an alleyway and you can't see past that, you can get a better view coming out of a kind of difficult situations. Here's another view. That's the camera to the bed.
The best part is inside here there's a button where you can drop the tailgate too, so as you go to back up to your camper, you just hit the button twice and it drops your tailgate. You back up to the camper, lock your hitch, go plug things in, close your tailgate. That's awesome, because I'm telling you, it saves you. If you can save 2 or 3 trips climbing out of the truck to go back there, even at my age, I love it. So it's just one of the extra features that's really cool.
Yep. Another thing, as you're hooking up to a trailer, this is just a sensor off button from there. As you're backing into a trailer, you don't want that thing beeping at you. You can shut it off real quick just so you don't have that annoying beeping telling you've got an object because you're trying to hook a trailer up. So really quick to get to. Then of course you've got your hazard lights. Here, this is traction control. Again, you can shut the traction control if you want. As you select through your drive modes, it'll kick it off accordingly depending on the terrain you're going in. This here is for more demanding four-wheel drive. It's intended for speeds below 30 miles an hour, but it will actually hold you in set speeds as you're coming down the steep grades. It's just for more demanding four-wheel drive, not intended for trailer towing, but it's real convenient if you're out wandering through the woods or up and down in prairies.
Absolutely.
What's nice about this Pro Trailer, if you notice, you can turn that on. There's nothing connected on there, but this is how you can add trailers or take them away. The Pro Trailer backup is intended for customers that aren't as experienced in driving with trailers, and typically the hardest part about trailering something is backing it up. Once you program it, and there's some easy steps to do it, it's not very complicated, but all you got to do is put it in reverse and you can control the knob. You don't have to touch the steering wheel. You can just control the knob and it'll turn that trailer right in, so you can back into parking spots or back your boat into the lake, or if you're trying to back your recreational vehicle into a campsite, it makes it real convenient and you don't look like a rookie parking those things in there.
If you look on how to use this and how much easier it makes, they've taken people who have no trailer experience, put this program in, showed them how to, and they jump right in and back campers into really tight spots. It's pretty cool to watch. I'm gonna close the tailgate and we'll go for a drive and show them the driving features.
Sounds good.
Look at the heads-up display right now. Obviously you can see I'm going 0 miles an hour, and you can see that it's telling me what the speed limit is. It just changed to 35 because we pulled out here on the road where it's 35. Now you can see the 2 blue highlights, and as I hit 35 miles an hour somewhere in there, you'll actually see the lane centering come on here in a second. There they are. There's the 2 lines. And if I turn the left blinker on, you see it disappears. And the reason being is if I didn't turn the blinker on, it would try to correct me to get back into the lane where I was at. So as we start heading down this road over here, we'll get the lines back up and I'll show you how the lane centering works. It's actually kind of cool.
It'll give you a warning that you're exiting your lane, and it'll give you a vibration, and it'll give you a slight torque steer to bring you back. Lane centering is a different one that will actually keep you in your lane. This is just a warning that you're drifting in and out of your lane on here.
Now as you look up there, you can see the 2 lines. You can see the blue on top, means nobody's within my travel distance. And it kind of comes and goes because the lanes aren't painted very good. But here I'll kind of direct it toward the left. It catches that. You see, it alerts me with the red.
Yep.
Corrects the steering wheel a little bit. It's a little tough here with this road being the way it is, but you get the general picture.
Yep.
Do it again. I'll do it again. There, and then you see how it corrected the steering wheel correct?
Yep.
Did that on its own there. So,
I want to illustrate is automatic emergency braking.
no, I don't want to still illustrate it, but it does have it.
It does have it. What it does is there's a sonar box in the back or in the front of the bumper, and it's determining the distance between you and that vehicle in time. If that vehicle starts to brake and you're coming up behind him real quick, it will actually apply brake forces. It'll pre-charge your brake calipers, and then if you put your foot on the brake, it's going to respond a lot quicker. It will actually bring you down to a stop. So if you're doing like 35 miles an hour or lower, it's supposed to bring you to a stop. If you're doing highway speed, it's supposed to bring you down to 30 miles an hour. just if somebody is kind of driving erratically in front of you, it will try to alleviate the rear end collision if that was going to happen.
Now you can watch as I go around this corner with the lane. I mean, it'll bump you pretty hard if you. Well, I slowed down too much. It'll bump you pretty hard and actually correct you quite a bit. So it helps a lot. Not so much down here in the 30-mile-an-hour range, but as you get up a little bit above that. And you can see right here, I come up on this guy a little bit, and you can see my lane keeping's warning me that I'm inside my 3 car length spacing that I had set in my adaptive cruise. Even though the cruise isn't enabled, it's warning you that you're getting too close. Kind of cool. Kind of like having Big Brother sitting over your shoulder helping you drive. And the good thing is, if a guy wants to, you can actually turn all that stuff off if you want. I kind of like the safety features. I haven't been in a wreck in a long time. I'd like to keep it that way, so that's kind of a cool thing. Here you can see it's already adapted the speed to 65, so you know what the speed limit is. It shows you're doing 58. I mean, you don't hardly ever even have to look down with this right now. So, like, right, if I come out here and I set my cruise control, let's say it's 73, let's say. Right now, it's going through lane centering. It's checking that I've got my distance set at 2 cars. I can go in here and change it to 3 if I want. And as I come up on this guy, he's kind of hauling butt. See if I catch up to him. You'll watch that I don't have my feet anywhere near the pedals. So let me speed it up to 70. Yep. Yeah, I'll see. I got the cruise set at 75, but it's pacing him at 72 miles an hour, right? So now if I'm just sitting here pacing him and I decide it's time to pass him, I turn on my turn signal. You can see it start to speed up on its own. I don't have to do that. It does that. And it takes me back up to where I have my cruise control set.
Yep.
Right? And then I can go around him and no problems. I don't think I want to get in trouble for speeding too much here. So I'm going to back this back down to normal. And then if I try to go over that way without turning on my turn signals, I mean, you see,
it's steering you back.
It brings me back, right? So,
yep.
I mean, that's just, so turn on my turn signal. It changes. It turns off the lane sensing on that side, lets me cruise across the lanes, turn back on, and now it's locked me back in place. And it'll actually, if I don't have my hand on the steering wheel for very long, it'll tell me to put my hands back on the steering wheel. It's kind of funny. Like I say there again, it's kind of like having a big brother. Say, keep hands on steering wheel.
Yeah.
So it's just one of the other, I mean, it's got so much technology into this truck, the things it'll do and the way it can help you drive. And especially like when you hook onto a trailer and you turn on your turn signal, the camera comes on and shows you a shot back down the side of the camera to make sure as you're making that corner, you don't short turn the trailer and hook something with your trailer. You can see that in the camera.
Yep.
I mean, that's a really nice feature. It'll do it on both sides. It's just one of the extra things that it does when you're towing trailers. It's really kind of nice. And you can see all the different cameras here too while you're doing this too. So you can watch. There you go. That's what the view is when you turn a turn signal on and you've got a trailer behind you.
Yep.
You can literally see behind you. So you don't.
So like if you're trying to merge to the left side, you can view the cars along the side of your vehicle. So you're not merging over there. It's extremely helpful, like he said, with a trailer on that.
And then plus different camera angles that you can see. And so you can see the then we're back to just my navigation screen or the audio screen. Depends on. Hey, you can set it up the way you want, or like this one up here, you can set your center stack up the way you want. On my view, I like to have my distances shown in here because if I get too close to a car, this will actually illuminate orange too to let me know I'm getting too close. But just, if you want a great truck, you want all the safety features. Like I say, this is the F-350 with the power stroke, 475 horse.
Yep.
And 1,025 foot-pounds of torque. And I can tell you, coming from a competitive truck, that was a really good truck and lots of power. This thing is, it'd be like Godzilla taking on, I don't even know. I mean, it's not even a comparison. So, well, folks, we're just about pulling back in the parking lot here, about finished with this. but I think I'd be remiss without pointing out the obvious fact that up front here you got 4 cup holders along with the power charging station. Right here's 2 more in the back armrest back there. I mean, you can literally get a 6-pack plus 2. I mean, there's lots of room for cups because you're going to be in this truck driving for a while, towing your horse trailer, towing your dump trailer, whatever it is, camp trailer. If you're looking for a great truck at a great value when you take into consideration all the features these things have, come down and see us here at Archie's and let one of our salespeople jump you into a truck like this and take you for a ride. We'll show you why these are absolutely the #1 best-selling truck in America
for 47 straight years. That's right.
For a very, very, very good reason.
Yes, sir.
Come down and see us, guys. Thanks.
Have a good day.